All right, so you want to know what's brewing over at Starbucks? Well, we just took a deep dive into their latest earnings call. And let me tell you, it's pretty interesting. They're trying to reinvent themselves, kind of.
Yeah, it's fascinating how they're shifting gears, moving away from all those discounts and trying to focus on what they're calling this premium experience.
Yeah, it's a bold move, right? They're betting that quality and connection will win customers back.
And the early signs, actually suggest it might be working, which is interesting.
It is. It's like they're saying, okay, enough with the Frappuccino happy hour. Let's get back to the heart of what made Starbucks special, that personal touch, the feeling of community.
Right. Like, remember those handwritten notes on the cups?
Oh, yeah, those were cool.
Bringing those back.
I love those. But okay, before we get too deep in all that, let's look at the numbers, right? The hard facts.
Absolutely. So Starbucks reported a total revenue of $9.4 billion for Q1, which, is flat compared to last year. Globally, comparable store sales saw a dip of 4%. Their operating margin came in at 11.9%, and earnings per share were 69 cents.
Okay, so not exactly the kind of numbers that make investors jump for joy.
Right.
But I mean, are they really as bad as they look?
Oh, they definitely have room for improvement, that's for sure. But I think context is key here. Starbucks is putting a lot of resources into what they're calling this back to Starbucks strategy.
Right.
And that is impacting their bottom line right now. This strategy is all about improving the experience for both customers and employees. So think better wages and benefits for the baristas, revamped marketing and some significant upgrades to their technology.
Yeah.
So all this obviously, affects their margins in the short term.
Makes sense.
But they're hoping, banking on it, that'll lead to sustainable growth in the long run.
Okay, so let's unpack this back to Starbucks strategy a little bit more. What exactly does it entail? And, more importantly, is it actually resonating with customers?
Yeah, it's still early days, but there are definitely some positive signals emerging. They've significantly reduced their reliance on discounts.
Yeah.
They're actually seeing 40% fewer discounted transactions compared to last year.
Wow.
They've also eliminated that extra charge for non-dairy milk, which a lot of people were not happy about.
Yeah.
And that's been a hit with customers. And it's actually even brought back some lapsed rewards members.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're willing to take a potential hit on immediate revenue from things like upcharges.
Right.
Just to really push this premium image. What else are they doing to achieve that?
Well, they're really focusing on enhancing the in-store experience. They brought back those condiment bars.
Oh, nice.
They're reintroducing ceramic mugs for in-store customers.
Yeah.
And yes, they're even writing personalized messages on cups, like we said.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's a nice touch. And they're also piloting a new service model with the goal of, get this, a 4-minute turnaround time from order to handoff.
4 minutes.
4 minutes. It's ambitious, especially during peak hours.
Oh, yeah.
But they believe that improving that speed and efficiency without sacrificing that personal touch is crucial to winning back customers.
I have to say, I do love that they're bringing back the handwritten notes. It was such a unique Starbucks thing,
Right.
It really did add to that feeling of connection, like you were saying. But 4 minutes, that's a tight window. How are they planning to pull that off in such a fast-paced environment?
Well, they're investing in a few key areas. First, they're optimizing staffing levels, adding more coverage during those peak times and using data-driven scheduling, making sure they have enough baristas on hand to handle the rush. And second, they're simplifying their menu, which, streamlines operations and cuts down on the time it takes to prepare orders.
Okay, so fewer menu options, but potentially faster service, better quality, and, a more personalized experience.
Yeah.
I guess it does sound like a worthwhile trade-off. But what about technology? Starbucks has always been ahead of the curve when it comes to using technology in new ways. So I'm curious to hear how they're leveraging it to achieve these goals.
Oh, absolutely. Technology plays a huge role. They're piloting this new algorithm that intelligently sequences mobile orders.
Okay.
This should help to decongest that pickup area and create a smoother, more efficient process for everyone involved.
Yeah, no one wants to be that person holding up the line while they wait for their mobile order.
Exactly.
Are there any other cool, technological innovations they're implementing?
Yeah, they're also testing a capacity-based time slot model for mobile orders.
What's that?
So this would allow customers to schedule their pickups in advance,
Oh, that's cool.
which could further reduce wait times and improve that overall flow.
I can definitely see the appeal of that. No more guessing games about when your mobile order will be ready. It seems like they're really putting a lot of thought into making that whole ordering and pickup experience, as smooth as possible for all types of customers. What about those digital menu boards? Those have been in development for a while, right?
Yes, they have. And they're planning to roll them out across all U.S. company-owned stores over the next 18 months. The digital boards will offer clearer pricing, make it easier to understand those customization options, and allow for more dynamic menu adjustments throughout the day.
So increased flexibility, better communication with customers, and, potentially an easier way to upsell. Sounds like a smart move to me. It seems like they're really pulling out all the stops to really enhance the customer experience. But what about the employees? You mentioned earlier that they want to be the best employer in the retail industry.
Yeah.
So how are they working towards that goal?
Well, they're making some significant investments in their partners. They've more than doubled paid parental leave for eligible U.S. store partners, and they've committed to promoting from within for 90% of retail leadership roles over the next 3 years. And they're focusing on providing better training and development opportunities to help their partners grow within the company.
That's great to hear. Happy employees generally lead to happier customers, so it makes sense that they're prioritizing their partners' well-being.
Right.
All of this sounds promising, but I'm sure our listeners are eager to hear about the financial implications of these changes.
Of course. So while Q1 did see a decrease in operating margin, primarily because of these investments, Starbucks believes that these strategic moves will ultimately drive long-term growth and profitability. They're projecting that earnings per share will improve sequentially and year over year in the second half of fiscal year 2025. They're also being mindful of cost management and are working on efficiencies across the company to balance these investments. And they're also streamlining their support organization, which should result in further cost savings down the road.
Yeah.
It's clear that they're making calculated, strategic decisions to position themselves for sustainable growth.
Right. It seems like they're really playing the long game here, prioritizing those investments over short-term gains. What about their international performance? Any interesting insights from that side of the business?
Yeah, so their international business continues to be a significant growth opportunity. While they do face challenges in some markets, like their recent visit to China, for example, it yielded some valuable insights for stabilizing and strengthening their operations over there.
Speaking of China, they mentioned exploring strategic partnerships to expand their presence there.
Yeah.
What exactly does that entail? And what are the potential benefits?
Well, they're looking at various options, potentially collaborating with local companies, to leverage their expertise and navigate the complexities of the Chinese market.
Okay. Yeah.
This could provide them with valuable insights into consumer preferences, distribution channels, and effective marketing strategies, and ultimately, accelerate their growth in this crucial region.
That sounds like a wise approach, especially given the unique dynamics of the Chinese market. Are there any other international markets they're targeting for growth?
Yeah, they're seeing some strong performance in some of their licensed markets, which they kind of see as a model for future expansion.
Okay.
They're particularly impressed with the customer experience and operational efficiency in markets like Italy, Japan, and South Korea. And they're exploring ways to replicate those successes in other regions.
So learning from their international wins and applying those lessons globally, it sounds like they're taking a very strategic and data-driven approach to expansion. Now, let's talk about coffee prices. They've been quite volatile recently. How are they managing that risk?
Right. Well, they have this sophisticated hedging strategy in place to minimize the impact of those coffee price fluctuations. And they're also focusing on finding sourcing efficiencies within their supply chain to, offset potential cost increases.
So they're being proactive on multiple fronts to manage this risk. Now, what about their channel development segment? How is that performing? And are there any growth opportunities they're exploring there?
Yeah, their channel development segment, which includes, sales to grocery stores and other retailers, is facing some headwinds, mainly due to the current inflationary environment and its impact on consumer spending. However, they are exploring ways to innovate within this segment, potentially introducing new products and formats to appeal to those evolving consumer preferences.
Okay, so adapting to the changing market and looking for, innovative ways to drive growth. It sounds like they're covering all their bases. Now, I know this is not financial advice, but let's have a little fun here and indulge in some what-if scenarios.
Okay, I'm always up for a good hypothetical.
All right, given all this talk about premiumization, what if Starbucks went all in on this strategy and started offering super high-end small batch coffees, with even more personalized service. Imagine a reserve bar like within a Starbucks,
Yeah.
but taken to the next level, almost like a hidden speakeasy kind of coffee experience.
Oh, I love that idea. Like, picture it. This secluded, speakeasy-style coffee haven,
Yeah.
nestled within their existing stores, offering, rare and exotic blends, masterfully crafted by these, like, expert baristas. They could even offer, like, tasting flights and educational workshops, creating this truly immersive coffee journey for their customers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what if they partner with, like, luxury brands for exclusive merchandise and events, further elevating the experience and attracting a whole new clientele? It would be a bold move to solidify their position as, like, the premium coffee destination.
It's a fascinating concept. Imagine like limited edition coffee collaborations with, fashion houses or high-end chocolatiers.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless.
It's definitely food for thought. Of course, this is all hypothetical, but it's intriguing to consider the potential direction Starbucks could take as they continue to evolve. But speaking of food,
Ah, yes. The crucial food component. They're simplifying their food menu as well, focusing on, high quality, freshly prepared items that complement their beverages.
okay, do you think they'll ever branch out beyond their current offerings? I'm thinking more substantial meal options, perhaps even with regional variations.
It's certainly a possibility. They've experimented with like breakfast sandwiches and other savory items in the past. Expanding their food menu could attract a wider range of customers, especially during those lunch and dinner hours.
Yeah, I could definitely see them partnering with like local bakeries or chefs to offer unique and regionally inspired dishes.
Right.
That would add to the whole community coffee house atmosphere they're cultivating.
Exactly. And it would also provide additional revenue streams and opportunities for like differentiation.
Exactly. It aligns perfectly with their premiumization strategy, offering a complete and elevated experience. Now let's shift gears and talk about their loyalty program, Starbucks Rewards. It's already incredibly popular, but how can they make it even better?
I mean, they're constantly innovating with their rewards program, adding new features and perks to keep members engaged. But there's always room for improvement, right?
For sure. What if they introduced a tiered system, offering even more exclusive benefits to their most loyal customers? Think personalized recommendations, early access to new products, and invitations to special events. The kind of perks that make you feel like a VIP.
Ooh, I like where your head's at. A tiered system would incentivize customers to spend more and increase their engagement with the brand. It's a win-win.
Imagine a Starbucks Black Card, like for their most elite members, offering unparalleled perks and privileges.
Now that's an idea worth brewing on.
It's all about creating a sense of exclusivity and rewarding those who truly value the Starbucks experience. But let's not forget about their investors. They're probably wondering how all of these changes will affect the company's financial performance in the long run.
Right, of course. And that's a valid concern. While there are definitely some risks involved in this transformation, Starbucks does have like a history of innovation and adaptation. They've faced challenges before and emerged stronger. And their current leadership team seems determined to navigate this new chapter successfully.
They've laid out a clear vision for the future, and they're taking concrete steps to make it a reality. But as with any investment, there are no guarantees. It's up to each individual investor to do their own research, weigh the potential risks and rewards, and decide if Starbucks is the right fit for their portfolio.
Exactly. We're here to provide you with the information and insights you need to make informed decisions. But ultimately, the choice is yours.
All right, it's time for our This Is Not Financial Advice segment, where we throw out like a wild yet plausible trade idea based on everything we've discussed today. Are you ready for this?
Bring it on.
Okay, so based on Starbucks' laser focus on this premiumization strategy, I'm thinking, what if they went out and like acquired a high-end coffee roaster? Or maybe even like a small chain known for its specialty brews.
Now, that's an interesting angle. It would give them like immediate access to a whole new customer base and really solidify their reputation for like, top tier coffee quality.
Right, think about it. They could integrate these specialty offerings into their existing stores, maybe even create like a dedicated section for these unique blends.
Yeah.
It would elevate their brand image even further.
It would definitely cement their position as like a leader in the premium coffee market. Plus, they could leverage, their existing infrastructure and supply chain to like scale these specialty offerings more efficiently.
Exactly. And imagine the potential for like cross-promotion and collaboration between their current brands and these new acquisitions.
Right.
It could lead to some seriously delicious and innovative coffee experiences.
For sure.
I mean, it's a bold move, but it aligns perfectly with their current trajectory. It would send a clear signal to the market that they are serious about dominating the premium coffee space.
Absolutely.
Of course, this is all purely hypothetical, but it's fun to explore the possibility.
It is. It's always fun to like think outside the box.
As always, the most valuable insights come from you connecting the dots.
Yeah.
And thinking about what all this means for your own interests. We're just here to provide the fuel for those thoughts.
That's right. It's all about making those connections.
Well said. That wraps up our deep dive into Starbucks' Q1 2025 earnings call. They're clearly at like a pivotal point, embarking on a journey to reclaim their position as the leader in premium coffee.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how these strategic initiatives play out in the coming months.
Definitely. It'll be fascinating to watch how they balance, this focus on premiumization with their commitment to, accessibility and their ambitious global expansion plans.
Yeah.
They have a lot on their plate, but their track record of innovation and customer focus, it makes me optimistic about their ability to adapt and succeed.
I agree. Starbucks is a brand that's constantly evolving, and this new chapter promises to be just as exciting as the ones that came before it. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Starbucks.
Absolutely. And remember, keep exploring those endless possibilities of coffee.